Okay, stop for 1 second. Please just tell me exactly what you were saying in your mind.
Bro, please, one person buy a thing and it doesn't happen, but then 2 days later you get a DM saying, "Oh, can I get a custom order?"
Was there like a YouTube?
Nah,
That's what I'm saying.
I thought I invented it. That piece that you hate the most is someone's favorite piece. Yo, I wanted to sell this piece 2 years ago. Come on, guy. And then people are going viral. I hate you. I enjoy what I do for work. I don't have a passion for what I do for work.
Yeah.
You're gonna not find yourself. That's a little bit too cheesy.
You caught yourself. Huh?
That's what's known as like
Once said the yarn of life.
I could show people that you could be creative in different endeavors and try different things and it'll work out.
My name is Stef, and this is the Dead Man Walking Podcast. My guest today is Akeen Kidder. You may know him as the yarn art guy. He creates art, but not in the usual way with like paint and stuff like that. He creates it with yarn. I think what I also love about Akeen is that he never forgot about the communities that he grew up with and how they helped him through the whole process. Now, Akeen is part of a special kind of series here with the show that's called The Forgotten Ones. If you want to know a little more about the show and that series, I have some more information in the description, so check that out. If you like the show, it's really easy to support us. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, subscribe here on YouTube, leave feedback, write comments. Hope you enjoy the show. Take care.
I love the different cameras, bro. Just hit a gym, you know, like look into the camera. Yeah.
It's definitely, every time I press record, I'm like, I can't believe there's 3 cameras in my house.
No, it's definitely a vibe. And like I like the fact that you have it where you are. Like I like a studio vibe too, but it like feels homey, you know? Yeah. Like it's like it's not like all eyes on me, but it's like, okay, I'm familiar with, you know, I got a hoop in my house, you know? Like, okay, we're chilling, you know?
He's not a weirdo that just invited me to his house.
It's not like a cold room, you know?
Dude, I don't know how people do, you know, like when it's a cold house.
Yeah.
And nothing, it's like this straight lines only.
Bro,
and
that psychopath, you know, American Psycho vibes. You see that guy on like TikTok or whatever who like irons his bed sheets and stuff, and you're just like,
I'm just sorry, I'm just gonna
murderer.
Organize this here.
I was like, what?
So that way,
Don't get me started talking about abstract art. I swear to God. I'll do the rant. You triggered me.
My shit on my piece of art that I did as a stoner.
Yeah, exactly.
That was actually, I don't know if you know Tyler Lemko.
Not by name, no.
So Tyler he's an artist, but he did kind of a lot of stuff on YouTube when like YouTube kind of just started. And,
oh yeah. Okay.
There was a big show. Oh my God, I'm blanking out. It's like all this massive like crazy meals and all these crazy shit. You know when food was like
Epic Mealtime?
Epic Mealtime. That's
okay.
it.
Yeah.
I was buzzing out. I couldn't remember it.
Okay.
So he's an artist now. And so we went to his place and him, my buddy that's a singer of a band.
Okay, is that dude with the beard?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say.
And we just hung out and we did art.
Yeah.
We just smoked a J and we just did art. It was amazing. I've never done that.
No, it's funny because, I mean, splatter art and stuff, I do often for backgrounds of my pieces because I was like, okay, your budget's a little bit lower than what it would take to yarn a whole canvas. So I'll do something on the background. And abstract, like splatter art, it's so easy. It's like quick, maybe not easy, quick, and looks great.
Yeah.
So
it's such a vibe to it.
Yeah, and I made this post like saying,
yeah, I saw it. Just
like,
the other day.
I was like, look at this shit, you know, like talking shit, but also like
loving it.
I was just like jealous, you know, that freedom. It takes time.
It's
bro.
Like a sense of freedom. Man.
Abstract artists in my DM, you don't even know what it takes. And I'm like, bro, you're new here, so you don't know my sense of humor. Rewatch the video. It was purely positive, you know?
Yeah, man.
And then you make new artist friends like that, so it's funny. I hate to have to trigger people to like get interactions. So like I try to stay positive, but you see it works, man. That's why people like that negativity in the news and stuff. It really does draw.
It's crazy.
Interactions.
People get so emotional on any comment.
Yeah.
Let me just do a quick intro here for you. Hey, welcome to the Dead Man Walking Podcast. My name is Stef. This is episode I don't remember anymore. But if you are new to the show, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. If you want to support the show, super easy. All you got to do is press subscribe. It really does a lot, and it helps a lot to keep the show going. If you've been here a few times and you still don't know if you want to subscribe, dude, just subscribe. It's like, sweet, come on.
YouTube is so easy.
Come on, it's so easy. Just press subscribe. It changes everything. Now, to my guest, Akeen Kidder. Now, you might not know Akeen, but you might know him as the yarn art guy, which is pretty cool. We actually just saw a piece outside and it was so cool. I almost ruined it by maybe touching it too much, but he's killing it right now. He has shows in Ottawa, Montreal, New York City. He has actually an event tonight. It's not going to air today, the episode, but we'll talk about it. We'll maybe get you back and we'll talk about it, how it went
for sure.
at the Phi Center. And he's just killing it, even also with different projects. I think it was Black series, if I'm not mistaken, the Black Icon series, which is some amazing pieces came out of that I really loved. And I think that's what caught my attention also at the beginning with you. And then finally, on this Project Word, so there's a lot of stuff. And, we're going to find out how you got into art, how all this stuff really helps him recognize, that this is something that is not just part of his life, but is his life. There we go.
Let's go.
Awesome, man. So look, Akeen, man, you have a show tonight.
Yes, sir.
What's the show? Like Project Word, what is that?
Yeah, so this one's a real special one to the point where I had a show in Ottawa and I canceled it to come to do this one.
Oh, shit.
Because I got reached out by the people at Project Word. So 16 years ago, I was part of this program. At the time, it was called Literacy Through Hip Hop.
Okay.
So it taught kids how to read and write through writing raps.
Okay, cool.
So growing up, I was a really shy kid, Started doing this program to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone and have to perform a rap and stuff. So I really credit it to, like, now I'm the yarn art guy online. I make videos and I put myself out there. So that was like one of the stepping stones. I also like to make rap videos to like promo my pieces, or even if you go on my website, I do a introduction of who I am through a rap. So it's like a big part of who I am. So I canceled my event in Ottawa, said I'll come over because they're doing their 16-year celebration of being an organization that helps youth in the city with literacy and, even like connections academically or whatever they might need. And they are showcasing portraits of their founding members.
Okay, cool.
I wasn't able to do a portrait for them because for me, a portrait takes 30 plus hours.
Dude, I see some of the stuff
crazy.
you're doing. I'm like,
yeah.
how the fuck does he do
Especially
this?
I do it, I hot glue yarn on the canvas. So like I'm really there with my gun, one strand at a time.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be involved in some way, but what works for you? So they commissioned their logo. So I did their logo in yarn.
And that's where you did the abstract.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
okay.
So the background I did abstract, and then the logo itself with yarn, so it really pops and stuff. So I do that. I do that a lot for people who, you give me your budget, I'll make it work in some capacity, So I'm doing that, and then when I went to the space that they had allocated, the Phi Center, I don't know if you've ever been there. It was my first time there.
I was
like,
your first time.
Oh, okay. Like, you guys are taking this seriously. Yeah. Can I showcase some of my artwork? It relates to the whole hip hop thing. A lot of my portraits, Biggie, Tupac, are like hip hop icons. They're like, yeah, for sure. So I was like, okay, let me put my name behind it, try to get out there and be like, hey guys,
with a bucket.
Reach, like,
it's a great place, man.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
I've seen shows there, I've seen exhibits in there. I know that there's been cool like private concerts in there.
Yeah,
it's definitely it has a certain vibe in that location, that just something that is different.
For sure. As I got in, I was like, oh, okay, so like this is what we're doing. All right, like, and starting off my art career, I'm realizing, market versus opportunity, you have to really weigh, because you never know where your next big break could come from, and putting yourself in situations where you feel like you're interacting with the right crowd is important. So I prioritize this one. Also,
when did that start clicking for you though? Like, when did that start kind of coming into your mind where you're like, okay, there's an art element, but there's also an element of understanding that there's about networks and you need to connect with people and you need to reach out and not be scared to take that step of being honest, or not feeling like an imposter, maybe, that I'm an artist and I need to connect with people.
I'm lucky where I didn't have to kind of delusion myself into it, in the sense of I would go to markets and it would be a failure. You pay $200 for the market, you make, $185, and you're like, please, one person buy a thing, and it doesn't happen. But then 2 days later, you get a DM saying, oh, can I get a custom order? I saw you at that market before.
It's almost like it's fucking with you.
To
see if you're gonna stay.
It's like, do you believe in yourself?
Do you believe in yourself? Because if it would have worked out perfectly, you'd be like, oh, I got this, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's like, someone's got my back. There's a force out there that's like, believe in yourself. Look, I'm gonna challenge you, but I'm also gonna make sure you don't give up too.
Yeah, I'm coming close.
So now I have had those moments a couple times. Like, similar, I had an event in the Byward Market in Ottawa. Amazing space. People come there all the time. The day I went, it rained. And I'm
You're
like,
okay, stop for 1 second. Please just tell me exactly what you were saying in your mind.
bro, I wake up in the morning. The whole week before, I'm checking the weather because it was a 3-day event for the weekend over Canada Day. I only picked one of the days because I wanted to spend Canada Day with the fiance, you know? I picked one day, and every day I'm doing like my sun dance and everything. I'm like telling everyone, send out the vibes, you know? I wake up that day, it's pouring rain. I get a text from my boy who's like, I'm not going to go. Like, it's too much rain. But he had the 3 days. So I'm like, I turn over. I'm like, babe, do I go? And she's like, why not? You know, it's like, you got your tent, you got your tarps, just show up, you know?
What do you have to lose at this point?
So that goes to having a good system around you that pushes you forward, you know? But so I go, set up my tents in the tarp in the rain, and things are blowing. I have these stands for my art that are blowing, toppling over. I have to tie them to the tent. And I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Like the swear words, I would be losing.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like, you see
I'm
it in
smiling,
my
but I'm fucking Jesus Christ.
I'm like, yo, I was pissed. I was just like, man, why did things happen to me? And then I'm like, okay, yo, I live such a blessed life, dog. Like,
but
let
in
it
that
go.
moment, you total bitch, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, why have you forsaken me? And you're just like, okay, let me just get out there. I was chilling, slow day, but ended up, you know, making back the cost of my booth, which is always like the goal, and just getting your name out there.
Yeah.
And then at closing up, a guy came, ordered a custom piece.
Nice.
So it was like double the cost of my booth. Closing up, this woman came, oh, I'm opening a store. You want to be like an artist that I showcase there? You know, like opportunities. Wow. And it's like things like that where you feel like it's going to be horrible and then they pop up is so great. So now if something screws me up again, rain or I can't make it or whatever, I have had enough experiences to know that, like, not so much it happens for a reason, but like it's all part of the process, put it that way.
I think it's, you know, I think something you're saying that a lot of people, we don't realize at times, but it's always a roller coaster. There's always going to be that high that, like, oh, I got the opportunity to be at the booth, you know, whatever it is. And then there's the low of the weather's going to fuck me. Then nothing is happening. And then there's the high of the person coming in. And I think the hardest part is to try to stay steady in the roller coaster because you just fucking, there's always this shit coming at you that at a certain point it becomes, you know, I need to kind of remove the emotion.
Yeah, exactly. In a sense. And you need to remove the emotion both ways. Like, you can't
Good
get
or bad.
too high on the highs, and you can't get so low on the lows. You got to find your steady place, you know? And yeah, I've been lucky because I've had those opportunities where they were lows, but I was given a high right after. Yeah. You know, it's, you know.
Like when?
Well, just like that of, you know, a market that wasn't good and then a sales that I made. But what I'm struggling now with is my online sales, like my website sales. Because everyone says, oh, do you have a website? I've sold maybe 2-3 pieces through my website. I sell on Instagram, you know, or markets. But it's like, am I doing this wrong by having a website? Or do I take that same mentality of, like, it's an investment? Maybe it gives the opportunity for that one person I need who has that next contact, you know? So maybe I have the faith and just leave it running, you know?
Well, one thing that I think that I like of what you're doing with even just, I think, how you're connecting with people online is you're showing where you were and where you are. Like, I saw even some of the posts, you know, of like the original work of like when you first did it, I think a few years ago, and then what a Drake looks like today now as an example. And so I looked at it and I'm like, not many people are willing to be so like, hey man, like, this is where it was. Like, I recognize that it was good, but holy shit, look where I am now, in a sense, you know? And I you see that, then I think it makes sense with what you're saying. It's like, you know that if you keep working at this, you could get better at this. And kind of like the yarn, it seems like, did that help change the whole mentality? Like, seeing how you were back then and seeing what you're producing today?
The reason I do that, I think more people are having the same opinion of, like, Instagram is fake. Everyone just shows their, like, fake life. Work. And listen, I have a character of the yarn art guy when I'm there. So, like, you should know that is not the full me. But I'm an artist trying to get other people to find their creativity. Like, I believe everyone has their thing, whether it's doing a podcast, interviewing people, writing a book, writing something, art. You have your thing. Try different things to find it, you know? I never thought I'd be the yarn guy, you know? Grandma, make me a sweater. That's the yarn.
That's when I saw yarn, that's what caught my attention the most, is out of all the types of products in the world.
Yeah.
None. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I was like, I'm gonna call you and my grandmother. You guys are gonna start working together. You know?
Exactly. And so I thought it was important to showcase the process, the failures. I have a little bit of comfort in the fact of no one has really seen this before anyways.
Yeah.
So like, who are you to judge if it's good or not?
Yeah.
So I have that protection, but I also think not enough people show where they fail. Like I went to New York last year.
Yeah.
I had certain expectations and then I didn't meet them at all. I had a great time, but I didn't meet what I
At least
I thought I was going to get. And I was honest. I was like, guys, New York was a failure. Not because I didn't learn from it, but just because I set certain expectations and didn't meet them.
What was the expectations that you feel like you failed?
Yeah.
But the fact that if you would tell yourself, I actually had an opportunity in New York, you know, like a few years ago when you started doing it, you'd be like, dude, are you fucking win or lose? I'm going to New York. What an opportunity. You know what I mean?
So you're completely right. And that's what keeps me, you know, motivated and keep going. And I'm going to go to that same event next coming year, switch it up so that it's more what I expect, maybe play with my expectations a bit. But I think it's just important to put yourself out there in the sense of these are my failures or this is where I came from, to have something to compare with the next time, you know, like even something like working out, let's say. I think it's important to, you know, put that before picture out there, be like, hey guys, I'm going to do this, to nobody even. Just put it out there and then you could refer back to it. That's why one of the things that's helped me in my whole art career is like finding out your why. Yeah. Because then failures are not, you know, okay, I'm doing it so that, you know, in my case, so that I could show people that you could be creative in different endeavors and try different things and it'll work out.
And I think, you know, something that you do as well is when you do something like this is you're putting a real mark on the line of where you are today. Mm-hmm. And you say, this is where I am. And it's cool, dude. Mm-hmm. Like I can't be a pro if I just started. Yeah. And so you kind of put that back, you put that down and you write it down or you take a picture, whatever it is. And then when you look back 3 months later, you always have some sort of growth. Yeah. And then you kind of like appreciate it a little more because you're like, oh, fuck. If I would have told myself 3 months ago that this is what I would have produced, I would be in New York or I would do this, you'd probably say, holy shit, dude. Congrats, man. Keep going. You wouldn't be shitting on yourself the way you are right now. So I always find that's the perspective that I take a lot. That I take a lot of pictures of a moment that I feel like, oh man, I can't believe I got this done. Yeah. So I remember like I took pictures when we bought the cameras. Like remember, like you invested in this now. You're gonna learn how to use this shit. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you look back and now it's like you take it for granted, the cameras, because they're just there and all that stuff. But there was an excitement when you first bought it, like, oh man, we're gonna put video now to this. Yeah. You know, so I could imagine as you're growing and as you see the work and you kind of progress, you're like, holy fuck. No, that took 18 hours. This is taking half the time and it looks double like it's better than ever.
No, it's good. It's a good reminder and it's people like to see it, man. And it gets people motivated. And it also like, let's say one of the ones I did that for was Childish Gambino. Yeah. One of my favorite celebrities of all time, best like favorite inspiration. So I did his piece before I really even knew how to do portraits. And now I look at the how I got better and I'm like, oh my God, why do I even have this old piece? But then I get the messages of, I love that old piece, man. Like, yeah,
it has a different context to it.
Your new one looks more realistic. I agree, but just there's something about that old piece that really gets me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So like, it's good that I showed it again. You know, it's good that I tell artists all the time, like that piece that you hate the most is someone's favorite piece. Yeah. And I still don't understand it, but it is what it is, you know?
You know, the moment you release art, whether it's music, art, any type of thing that you hope that it somehow resonates with someone, that's pretty much what you're doing. You never know which one is going to resonate with someone because everyone is going through something at a specific time. So, you know, that love song, let's say, if you just went through a breakup, that love song, it's like it's speaking to you directly all of a sudden. Or, you know, you're in love with someone or where you are in your relationship or in your life, you lose someone or you're in the best moment of your life. That song now represents this moment. You would have never known that for someone, you know?
Yeah, like my thing, Chance the Rapper. Yeah. I don't know if you listen to The Big Day.
Sometimes, Once a Blue Moon, yeah.
So you go on Twitter, everyone hates that album, bro. But I listened to that album when I did a solo road trip, like to the eastern side of Canada. Okay. So just going through the hills, you know, and like sunsets and stuff, just listening to that album. I love that album. Yeah. Because I associate it with like an adventure, you know?
It's a moment.
It's really a moment. It's really how I was feeling when I was listening to it, added to it. So art speaks to you at different times, and there's someone out there that's gonna listen to it.
So now, when you were a kid, I saw there was a Van Gogh like experience that happened. I read somewhere that
Yeah.
you had seen something and it basically fucked you up.
I mean, no,
Not
but,
in a bad way,
you
in a
seen
good
Van
way. It's
Gogh
like
is
it
always
opens,
trippy, you know. Is like,
but it opens something,
yeah,
right?
it's like what is the possibility of art? You know, it's you have your thing, other people have their thing, and it represents what people are going through. So the thing with Van Gogh that I always like associate myself with, the Starry Night, when I saw that, I was like, yo, these brushstrokes look like pieces of yarn.
But it's funny
Like,
how
let me recreate this in yarn.
but it's so crazy because it's not something that most people would think of as yarn. So like,
Yeah.
what was it the fascination with yarn?
I
Bro,
really don't know.
I
It like it. I would say it came from a place of like, oh man, I need to be special, bro. Like, what's something that no one even does? Like, I like painting, I like sculpting. Like, I'm creative regardless whether it was gonna be yarn or not. But just a lot of those Van Gogh works, even like the Scream. I think that's Edward Munch, where it's very flowy.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, there's something here, and then it was just kind of dollar store walking around, and like, oh, okay, yarn, you know, let me try that. And I mean, my recreation of the Starry Night was not good. You know,
It's probably someone's gonna love that. That's
yeah,
gonna be
exactly. It's my first piece. It's a famous painting.
What are you thinking as you're doing? Because the first time, like, it's not as though there's a YouTube. It was there like a YouTube video. Like that's what I'm saying. Is
I thought I invented it.
I was about to say that because I've never seen that before.
I just invented a new art form. Like, look at me, I'm gonna be like in the history books. And then I started googling it. It's like it's like a Mexican art form or a native art form, where it's more tapestry or like
carpets patterns.
Like not so much carpets in the sense of like to walk on.
Okay.
But just like the colors and the designs are very like tapestry looking.
Well, I remember I was in Turkey and I saw people putting together like Turkish rugs and all stuff.
Exactly.
That shit it amazed me. I remember we were sitting back, I'm having a drink watching this, and I'm just looking at these women do amazing work. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, and they've been doing this for hundreds.
The more I got into yarn and just art with yarn and research of these different things, I was just like, okay, there's a community here. There's a system. Though no one has seen what I've done, people are familiar. Like nowadays, that rug making, you know, you have the gun and stuff. Like people always ask me, do you do that? Do you do that? And that's not what I do. You know, I like the intricate part of it.
Putting
and
it together.
So
by
people
hand.
don't yet fully understand that, but it's my responsibility to, you know, make those videos to get people to see what I'm doing. The yarn didn't come from a place more than, oh, look, oh, that could be cool, you know?
Yeah.
But you try something, it doesn't work, but you see the potential.
What did you see?
You keep going.
What did you see about it? Because I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's hard to explain that feeling. So if you could go back and ask yourself, like, what was it that you saw in the yarn that made you say, I think I'm gonna double down on this one. I'm gonna do the next one with yarn.
Yeah, it's a good question because I don't think it was anything drastic. It was just, you know, the yarn was bright. I like bright colors, vibrant colors. It would for sure give a feel of connection in the sense of you could go touch it. You want to interact with it, you know? Like a lot of times people are scared. Well, scared is maybe not the right word.
Yeah,
but
you don't want to touch
on
it.
going forward towards a piece of art. I think mine draws that.
Yeah.
And like you feel like you have to touch it, you know? And that's why I use a hot glue gun. So you could come, you could touch it. As long as you don't scratch at it and stuff, we're going to survive. But I don't think it was something like, oh, I need yarn. It was, I need something different. If it wasn't yarn, it would have been something like, you know, fabrics or, you know, just patterns. Because I wanted to incorporate kind of a sculpting kind of feel.
So, yeah, it does give that.
Yeah, like it's really like I work with my hands. Like I'm an artist, I'm a creative, but I'm like more of a craftsman too. You know, so it was really just that. Nothing like specifically yarn. Like even my grandmother wouldn't make me sweaters. You know, like that wasn't the thing I grew up with. But it was just, I don't know. It just spoke to me, I guess.
And so now you're doing this. You do that first piece. When did it start hitting you like, oh fuck, someone is actually, was it when someone bought a piece for the first time, or did someone give you a certain comment, or did someone push to make you keep going? Because sometimes you like something but you don't stick with it. So what made you keep going?
Well, so I did my first piece, Starry Night. Then I did the Scream, like I said, it was flowy. And then I did a Picasso piece. So I was just like, let me recreate pieces and see where this goes. I think it was that first Picasso piece is the girl in the mirror.
Yeah.
That I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, this looks good. This is what I wanted from it.
It finally connected the
like,
vision
okay,
and
exactly.
reality. Huh?
And then people are like, oh, it's cool. But it might have been that first, oh, cool, you do that. Can you make my cat? And it's like, okay, like
yeah, the first time you're like, yeah,
I guess. But my thinking now is, oh, yarn, cat, like ball of yarn.
I didn't even think of that.
That's what I'm thinking now. But she was just like, can you make me a cat? I was like, okay, sure. Like, I want to keep creating. Why not sell a piece? Oh, like you should post this online. Like just showcase it to. No, I lie.
I caught myself.
I lie.
That's bullshit.
I know why
all
I
of
posted
this
online.
was not.
My boy makes music.
Okay.
Dope music. He makes beats too.
What's his name?
His name is Andrew.
Okay.
He goes by If I Were Drew.
If I Were Drew. Okay.
On Spotify, check it out. And I wanted to be like, bro, if you just post, something will come of it.
He told you that?
I told him that. So I was like, listen, I'll post my art. Just post your shit. Like I'll prove it to you. It's
always you got to do that to each other. Do it.
I'll prove it to you. So I started posting, and so I started posting. Gained a little bit of follower when following, and then when COVID hit, I started my Black Icon series, but I also did a lot more skits and bits and things like that. And that's what really like started to help me grow and build connections. And I was like, look, like he still didn't make his Instagram to this day. to the point.
So you got to call him out now.
He made an Instagram, but not to the amount that I would want. Okay, dude, so keep posting.
What the fuck, dude?
I mean, to each their own in their moment, you know?
You need, it's a time.
Yeah.
Like everyone has the right time to do it.
I'm sure his time will come, so whatever, do your thing. But it helped me start my career. Yeah. So it's like, almost like, I was gonna prove it to you, and I proved it to myself almost. So it was an interesting turn of events.
But there's something about putting a record button, and then like you started the skits and shit.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and some of them were funny, but at the beginning you could see like you're doing this for the first times, and then it changes over time. Yeah. How hard was it to actually start posting something outside of the art? Because now you're making it personal. Now they're getting to know you a bit.
Yeah. My sense of humor and stuff like that. I'm very want the center of attention kind of guy,
How many kids?
I'm a good
in the family.
7-ish.
Oh, like, dude, you're fighting for attention all the time.
It's always been like that. So I have friends who find it more difficult to, get on camera and stuff. For me, it wasn't hard to make the videos, like press play and go, as much as like not mess up my words or like overthink in those senses. So it was a little bit easier for me. But when I let go of the, oh man, this didn't get enough likes, this didn't get things, and it's like, did I laugh? All right, on to the next one.
It's a huge, it's a game changer. The moment you're like, you know what, I found it funny. Yeah. Next.
But that's hard. That's a learning process. Like what I tell people who are like, man, I want to start recording myself, I don't know how to do it, is like, make your first 3 videos just for yourself. Yeah. And just send them to me. I'll tell you what I think you could do better or not, and I'll give you the compliments that will help you move forward. Okay. Your first 3 you didn't post, you're actually just post them. Expect nothing from it, and then go from there. It's other than doing it, I can't really give you advice about your emotional state towards it. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm scared to do it. Okay, well, I was scared to go skydiving. I'm still gonna go skydiving because I'm gonna miss out on an experience like that. I'm not going bungee jumping though. Yeah, I'm gonna miss out on that.
I did skydiving, but I am not going bungee jumping. That one terrifies me. Yeah, the bungee jumping,
because you feel like falling. When you skydive, you don't feel like you're falling.
There's something about that rope, and I don't know why. I always have this feeling like, when it bounces back up, when it's going to bounce back up, something is going to happen. It's not the actual drop, it's the bounce up.
Yeah. But so I always wanted to make silly videos. So it wasn't hard for me to start. But I could understand that different people have their different, things that they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And the only advice I could really say is just try to do something. If you don't feel comfortable posting it just yet, have it ready for the day you do feel comfortable, and then like understand that it's fleeting moments, like what you post online now, in 2 days, no one's gonna even remember what it was.
And it's gonna suck at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, it shouldn't be. I think that's what's helped me out whenever there's like kind of new projects I want to work on. I remind myself, like, it's supposed to suck, dude. It's your first time doing this.
Yeah.
If you were amazing at this, like, what are you trying to say? That all these other people that work really hard to get these things done and kind of push and have to go through the ups and downs and all that shit, you're not gonna go through that? No, it doesn't work like that, man. I'd love for it not to. In one way, you kind of don't.
Yeah.
You kind of start falling in love with those moments of how the fuck I got out of it. I find my favorite times, for me, I don't know about you, is when I think of a time where I thought I was fucked completely, and I'm like, and we got out of it. Somehow we got out of it. We sold the piece in the end, and it ended up making up for it. And kind of a bit of the roller coaster. You kind of enjoy a bit of the insaneness, but then
that's you.
That's me. For me,
I'm like, I wanted to sell this piece 2 years ago. Come on, guy.
No, man. There's a part of me that I don't know if it's like self-inflicting pain or something, but definitely when you go through it, it's like you come out like, oh, fuck, I got out of this.
I think the more I go to like markets and shows, especially interacting with different artists, you realize like everyone can do whatever, like anyone can do whatever, but it's like the things that work for one person might not work for, or most likely won't work for another person, like while staying true to who you are, like I see online like the trending audios, let's say, and it's like, okay, you're telling me I have to use trending audios
I can't.
to pop off. Okay, if I hear an audio and I think of an idea and I think it's funny, great,
I'm using it,
but I'm not gonna like stop my
I'm not gonna put a song that doesn't resonate with me because it's popular. I just hit a nerve.
Yo, you know that trending audio where it's just a click?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 and then people are going viral? I hate you.
Whoever
started that, I hate that.
Yeah.
Every one of my friends that started doing that, I send them a DM. Wow, you went to the dark side.
You did it. You did it.
Because it's like, I get it. We're all fishing for views and likes and stuff like that. But especially artists, like, build your community, like make people like you. If this draws them in, okay. I become a hater, but like I get it. Like do what you need to do. But come on.
I just feel, you know what it is? It's not that don't use the song because it's trending. It's don't use it if you didn't want to use it.
Yeah.
I think there's that. And then if you like it, like you said, it connects and it creates a funny bit and you can really leverage it. Fuck it. Then you have the best of both worlds. You love it and it's trending. It should do well.
Yeah. So anyways, I think it's important, and I'm in a privileged position where I'm still like working full time, so I don't depend on this for income.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're losing yourself, like you're not being yourself anymore, what are you doing? Like you're just doing it just for the views, like just for the likes. Like I understand they're important, but why are you doing this?
But now, like when you go back and you're thinking about it and you're building this, because now this is like we were saying earlier when you just walked in, this is part of your life. Yeah. It's not like an add-on. It's not a hobby.
It's not a thing I do.
It's not a thing you do. You're an artist. Like, like you were saying, like, I'm like this, and you have a hard time describing this to people. But now it's like you're leading with it.
Mm-hmm.
When did that start happening? When did that shift change? Because I think a lot of people struggle with that, especially when they have something that they're working on the side while they're doing, I guess, real life.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden there's this moment where it starts tilting the balance, And so when did that change for you?
I would say kind of, I don't know how exactly when, but last year at some point where I was doing more shows or just meeting more people in general, whether it's shows or outside of shows. And it was, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been, because I'm an engineer. So it's always been like, I'm an engineer.
That's why you can take so much fucking time in the precision. Dude, because the precision on it, I'm like, this guy has an analytical side to him.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like every artistic thing I do, it's always been a fusion of arts and engineering. Like, not to get sidetracked, but my fiance and I, we host a beer Olympics every year where it's a theme and you have to come dressed up and stuff. So I always build a costume like with cardboard. This year it was the Eras tour is what we called it. So everyone was a different era. So it was like some people were the 1990s, 1920s. We were the Mesozoic era. So I built
clearly,
obviously.
So 90s, 90s, 70s.
Well, you try to be creative. So one person was like their
Fucking
self-care era.
Yeah.
You know, one team was like my fiance through the eras of her life. You know,
Oh, okay.
like it was interesting. So I went as a dinosaur. So I built a giant dinosaur head out of cardboard, but my engineering kicked in. I made it so that the mouth could actually move.
Dude.
I made it so I could put a beer funnel in, you know, just freaking go.
That's amazing.
So it was like, I always like to put the engineering part in what I do.
Because it is part of you. You know what I'm saying? It's like people think, oh, just because I work here, you probably like something about this if you're working there. So you don't have to completely disregard you know, the fact that you love fucking putting things together.
Yeah,
that's an
making them functional,
yeah.
you know? But going back to your when did it change with what I lead with, around last year where people would ask me, you know, what do you do? I'd go engineering, and then it'd be, oh, cool, like what kind? And then I'm in building engineering, so they'll be like, oh, like civil? And I go, no, it's actually like, you know, the
and
comfort
you know
of your
always
house,
how the conversation
heating systems,
goes,
the plumbing systems, electrical, more of that. Okay, cool. What do you do?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And like, is that the conversation I want to have? Not even. Like, I want to start talking about my art. I want to show you my art. I want you to go, oh my God, like that's so cool.
Yeah,
like, oh, why'd you get? And then it becomes a conversation. Then I could go, what creative thing do you do?
Yeah.
And then they
Open
express a true thing about themselves, not just, oh, this is what I do to make money.
Yeah.
You know? So when I realize like these are the conversations I want to have, now I lead with, oh, what do you do? Is like, oh, I go by the yarn art guy, I make thing online. And to make money now, I'm an engineer. You know, whatever. You know,
it's funny how it changes.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole I had such a struggle with that too at the beginning. You know, like you host a podcast, and I felt weird to say something like that. And now it's like, no, dude. But I'm noticing I'm still half.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on the train now where it's starting to kind of shift back and forth, and depending on who I'll talk to, like what to lead with, but you start realizing like. Why am I not starting with that? You know? So when you started doing that, you said you'd open up all these things. You know, sometimes people, it's the opposite. They start these conversations and you realize, oh my God, I'm going to retrieve back. What were some of the things that were happening? Was it the conversations with the network? Like what was changing that was making you say, you know what, I think it's the right decision to lead with this now.
It was the conversation went in a way where I felt satisfied with what I was saying. And I felt like people could actually open up about what they actually like.
You know, satisfied.
I have a passion for what I do. I enjoy what I do for work. I don't have a passion for what I do for work.
Yeah.
So when I could talk about what I'm passionate about, you see it at the bar too. You go talk to a dude about his sports team, and he talks to you in a different way than the way he did the plumbing for his house, you know? That there is like, I end a conversation and I feel like I connected with the person in a sense that, you know, like we're on the same wavelength, because I'm certain that everyone has a creative side in them.
Yeah.
What that means,
I believe that too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But not everyone is an engineer that cares about if the flow rate of the air coming out is fast enough to make it go.
I'm one of them. You know that, like I love marketing. I love how people think of that slogan. Like to me, it was always just something that. How did you think of connecting with someone with 3 words that did everything?
But that's dope, because it's about connecting with people. Yeah. And like those conversations allowed me to, I'll use the word again, be satisfied with where the conversation went. And every single time I have that conversation, I learn something like true about the person. Yeah. Not what they do, not factual, but like
it's almost like you take off that mask.
Exactly.
Both of you guys are taking off the mask for like that 30 seconds even.
Exactly.
And just it allows people to feel, I guess, like, oh, I can actually say what I'm really thinking. You know?
Yeah. And it also is like they have something to refer to. Like, okay, you speak with them. Oh, I do this podcast. Oh, what's the podcast? Oh, I'll check it out. You know, it's like now you have a way to connect with them, even when you're not with them. You know, so like a lot of the time, I like talking about the yarn art guy, but I don't want that to be the main focus. I'll just say something like, "Oh, I'm the yarn art guy. Google me." You know, when you get home, Google me if you like it. You know, check it out. You know, and it doesn't have to be a full conversation at that moment. But then I see they followed me, and I'm like, oh hey yo, thanks for
Gotcha.
actually like yeah, no, but like thanks for
fucking-
reaching out, you know,
Yeah.
like is cool. I'm happy you like what you saw. Like let's go, because in the last year and a half, I haven't been as consistent with posting, but like my following hasn't been growing like exponentially. It's just been slow, a week or two. But it's always been like a community.
Yeah.
Whereas like, okay, I know who's following me, like
they're real people.
yeah, like the day will come where, I'm dropping videos and then one of them goes viral and then I'll lose a bit of that. But those people that have been here now where we interact, like I DM with people, I started doing this art form. Do you have any advice about that? Like I love those conversations.
Yeah.
And I have that now. So as I'm growing, I'm building a community too. You know?
Man.
So like that's dope.
And so now that for the future of it, right? You're seeing all this stuff and this community. What are some of the kind of like the visions or kind of the goals that you have towards the yarn art guy?
Yeah.
And not just that, but I mean just towards this craft, because there's one thing, like you said, there's a personality.
Exactly.
But the craft itself.
Yeah, the craft wise, I would like more people to try it. I would love to go down in history as that one of those pioneers that helped not create, but influence people to do a different art form.
Yeah, revive something too, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a mix of like this historical type of craft mixed with a new wave touch to it.
Exactly. So it's like be the next generation, like go down. Oh, like when people think about yarn and like even the rugs, their mind can come to me,
Yeah.
It's like, no, I don't do the rugs and stuff, but I use fibers. I'm the yarn art guy. Like when you see yarn, like now people, oh, my mom's throwing away some yarn. Do you want it? It's like, okay, you thought of me, eh?
Yeah,
okay, I like that. Like
it's becoming second nature for people.
Yeah,
now.
I like that. And then, I mean, when I have the time to make bigger pieces, I would like to, do showcases, events, galleries, and things like that.
Yeah.
Right now, the Black Icon series is something I tour with. Like if people invite me or I want to go to a place, that's really what I'm showcasing, more or less. But I'm excited to work on a next series where I could, be in more bigger event spaces.
What were you learning through the Black Icon series, though, for you?
So for me, the Black Icon, it started because I wanted to make a gift for my sister.
It's always something so simple.
Yeah, and I was just like, listen, I want to start making better portraits.
Yeah.
But I'm not confident that I'll make a good portrait, so let me give it as a gift. Cause
to my sister. It's always
she has to love me, so let me make it for her. So I did the Biggie first.
Okay.
And I started with the eyes because everything's in the eyes. Once you have the eyes, you know if you have the person. And
now it feels like it's real. Like it's looking at you.
Exactly. So I finished the eyes, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is gonna be good,
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, sis, you're not getting a birthday present.
I'm really sorry.
I'm gonna have to keep this one, So I ended up making her Frank Ocean because like I don't really know Frank Ocean like that. So I was like, you got this, but Biggie is the homie, So I finished Biggie, and I was like, okay, wow. Let me make Tupac because obviously you make Biggie, you make Tupac. And then it became a question of like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And then the underlying theme for my portrait series was these are all people who've influenced me in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have the same trait of staying true to themselves. Like they're unique or weird or whatever, but they are them, So I went those two, and then I did Fresh Prince. Then I did Childish Gambino. So that was another thing of like being a jack of all trades, like myself. I like to make a rap. I like to make a skit. I like to make art, like, so those are people that influenced me. Then I did Michael Jordan, Kobe, mentality, determination. And it really came from there. And then it was, I need to do some women, because raised by a single mom, like, is important for me. Women have had a strong impact in my life. I did Beyoncé, Zendaya, again, underlying theme of being true to yourself, being capable, strong. Being one of the like goats in what you do. So that's where it came from. And then the more I showcased it to people, the more different things came out of it. Like now I say for things like that, we are all on our own walks of life, our own strands of life. And until we all come together, we don't see the bigger picture behind it. So I kind of think of it like that when I make, especially a portrait, where it's like each strand can represent a part of their journey. And until you step back and see all the strands together, you didn't even know it was like
what it took to build this.
Thing. So that's where it came from, and that's why I like that series. I kind of stopped in the sense of I'm not trying to add to it all the time.
Yeah.
But the more I interact with people, the more I'm hearing names that, okay, like a Tina Turner. I'm like, okay, yeah, like me growing up, Saturday morning chores, like it did impact me listening to that music. So maybe I should make another piece, you know? So now it's become almost like a group project and seeing other people, what they see as a potential, you know?
You know, it's funny you say that. My girlfriend, she loves Gypsy Kings. I know this sounds like I just threw it fucking way left field, but when I went to go watch them live with her, I think what I really liked and what you're just, you know, what you just spoke about is that the Gypsy Kings, they came out on stage and their sons were playing with them, right? And he's like, Gypsy Kings is us, like some of the guys here that started the band are here, but it's something that grows. It's not something that just stays us four and we're the only people. And this is what the band has become now. So it almost sounds like what the original thought is growing into something new. And it's almost like you're learning about yourself through the process. Like, oh, fuck, these people actually had more of an impact than I thought. And you're connecting with each picture. And it's almost like a part of you. I know maybe deep or whatever, but it's like every part you're doing of a strand for them. There's an element of even in you, like it's almost you're doing the strand of your own piece in a sense, kind of putting it together.
A joke I used to make, because I use a hot glue gun at the beginning, I would burn myself all the time.
Sick.
It's like, yo, blood, sweat, tears, little pieces of my skin. Like, so now at least it's a metaphorical piece of me.
You're part of it, literally.
Because now I know how to put it down properly.
So those first ones actually have DNA.
It's like, yo, don't clone me, but if you need to, just buy a piece.
Dude, look, man, we're coming towards the end of this. I'm really excited. So for the show tonight to come, I'm gonna be there. By the way, I'm gonna swing by, and I wanted to see the exhibit and all that stuff. And so, how do you want to end this? What do you want people to think of, or however? It doesn't always have to be serious, but how do you want to end this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I want people to think, what is that creative thing that they have?
Yeah,
because I'm meeting a lot of people that do the whole, oh, I can never do that. Okay, well, you don't need to do this.
Yeah,
but you need to do something, because you're gonna not find yourself. That's a little bit too cheesy.
you got yourself.
Yeah,
that's why I was
like, it's just like,
how do you say the yarn of life?
Yeah, exactly. Like we're each on our strand of life. Like I don't want to
some fucking cheesy line that you're gonna look back and you're like, ugh.
But it's when you're doing that creative thing, whatever it is, it does challenge you to be like, why am I doing this? And it's not deep like a job might be. It's not deep. It's not obvious like working out might be. It's something that's simple and deep at the same time. You know, it's like, okay, like I like that. Why do I like that? Why do I like the color yellow so much?
I don't know, but I just do. You know,
like,
sometimes it's like,
and it's cool to learn yourself a little bit. So try creative endeavors is how I'll end it.
Awesome, man. And so if people want to connect with you, if they want to buy pieces, what's the best way to reach out to you or connect with you?
Best way is on Instagram, Yarn Art Guy. I have a website as well linked in the bio. It's Art with an AK, my original artist name. When that domain expires, you know, the Yarn Art Guy, don't buy it, please.
Go home, buy that shit now.
Yeah,
man.
no, I haven't. I haven't. Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to. But no, right now it's Instagram. DM me for custom work. Just hit me with a DM too. If there's anything you're interested in, DM. Instagram is my main source.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Look, to everybody that's watching, go follow guys like this. This is how you come up. This is how you help each other. This is a community. This is how we build things, is we help each other grow, getting to know people's stories. So if you like the episode, you know, go follow him. Go follow him online. Just go check out his work. If you like the show, like I said at the beginning, don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this and hearing people's stories. And if we keep doing this more often, we'll probably help each other get to where we actually want to be, man.
For sure.
So thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's fun. It flies by, eh? Yeah.